Donald Trump is so shaken and so, according to insiders, haunted by the incident that occurred at a restaurant in Washington, D.C. back in September, that he is no longer leaving the White House to do any public appearances because he is deathly afraid that he is going to run into a protester or two that doesn't like him. So according to a recent report from Axios, the president has officially canceled any and all non-disclosed public appearances. For those of you who may not remember, let me refresh your memory here. In September, Donald Trump went out to Joe's, right? It was supposed to be a impromptu thing. However, it was definitely scheduled in advance. It just wasn't announced to the public. And he shows up there. He's all happy, right? He's got to have some crab legs, I guess. And there were a couple, and I mean literally just a couple, Code Pink protesters there. One of them had a sign that said, or were chanting, "Trump is the Hitler of our time," and "Free Palestine." The Secret Service came up, removed the individuals, and Donald Trump had a nice meal. That should have been the end of it, right? These people had every right to say these things to Donald Trump. They did not become violent. They did not get in his face. They did not threaten him. They just said things he didn't want to hear. And again, they have every right under the U.S. Constitution to do that. But the Secret Service removed them. But that incident left Donald Trump so haunted that he won't do it again. I'm not going out in public. I'm not leaving the safety of my White House because there's mean people out there, right? Isn't Trump supposed to be like the big, tough guy, the alpha male to the MAGA movement? They think he is the epitome of what a man should be. And yet he's too scared of hearing things he doesn't want to hear that he now won't leave his house. Does that sound like a manly man to you? No. It sounds like a pathetic little coward, which is exactly what Donald Trump is. But let me read this from Axios. Trump and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles were infuriated by the incident, according to Alex Eisenstadt, who spoke with people familiar with Trump's thinking, who spoke on the condition of anonymity. White House officials were particularly alarmed that knives on the restaurant's tables were near the protesters. Trump aides say that for now, they have quashed any plans for Trump to do any OTRs, the internal code used to describe events that aren't pre-announced to the public. Didn't Trump say people can now openly carry guns in Washington, D.C.? But you guys are afraid that there's like steak knives on a table near the protesters that they weren't even going for? If you're afraid of a restaurant having knives on the table, why in the hell are you telling people you can now openly carry firearms in Washington, D.C., right? That doesn't make much sense. Sounds like your fears are misplaced. But more importantly, those Code Pink protesters had reservations. And, even more hilariously, they were pre-screened by the Secret Service itself before Trump even came into the building. Let me read you this, according to a Secret Service spokesperson. All restaurant guests were screened prior to the president's arrival, including the protesters who had made a reservation to gain access. So the Secret Service knew these people were there. They screened them. They determined they're not a threat. They can have steak knives near them. And the White House was like, no, there were knives near them, and they were yelling. And you don't want to have people yelling at you while you're trying to chow down on a well-done steak smothered in ketchup, do you? They have every right to do that. The restaurant, of course, had every right to remove them. But Trump is now so scared that he will not leave. His advisors will not let him leave his little alternative reality bubble inside that White House, where everybody loves him and he's the greatest president ever and the economy is thriving. All of those great and wonderful things that only exist inside that little fake bubble that Trump's advisors are keeping him in. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.